The beast attacks the city and destroys everything in its path. Judo covenant his soul and his body with the 22 to fight against the beast. He tells 22 that they first have to drive the beast away from the town to protect the citizens. For 22, this is the first experience, so she is confused about what is happening to her. Jiro is also surprised to hear that it is her first time to do so. Judo tells her to stay quiet for the time being and that they first have to handle the situation with the beast. Jiro attacks the beast and fights against him. He uses his weapon to attack the beast. The citizens are watching the fight from a distance. All they see is a light fighting against a beast. Dido decided to attack the beast by hitting his head with the blade, but the skin is very tough to break. The monster picks him up and throws him against the wall. Judo then falls down and faces injury. 22 is worried about Jiro's condition, so she asked him if he is doing okay. Judo scolds her and focuses his attention back to the beast. He once again attacks the beast and this time cuts off one of its arms with the help of his blade. Judo asks himself and 22 if the monster has any weaknesses. 22 pointed out that his eyes are very bright, so maybe the weakness of the monster is his eyes. 22 then added that from looking into his eyes she gets an impression that his eyes are the point of weakness. Judo tells her that clerics have a sixth sense regarding these kinds of things and follows her advice. He then attacks the beast's eyes with his blade. Slowly the light behind the eyes decreases and the monster falls down after the fight. 22 comes out of Judo's body and the soul and tells him that the monster is a lot more majestic to see from up close. Just then Jiro falls down unconsciously. 22 tries to wake him up by calling his name, but he does not respond. Just then Maya appears and offers her to help treat Jiro. She tells 22 that she will take her to a place where they offer the treatment without asking any questions for the injuries. Seeing his condition, they take him to the treatment center back at the city port. Maizami arrives at the town via boat. The chief and commander welcome him. Maizami arrives at the place of destruction from where a bad smell is coming off. The chief and commander both find it hard to breathe. The smell Bazami picks up a small piece lying on the ground and takes a whiff. He then puts the piece in a glass jar and tells them that there are clear traces of miasma. The commander and his chief curiously ask about the miasma, to which Maizami replies that the smell is coming from the contact with miasma, which causes rotting. He further tells them that miasma has the ability to summon the beast and drives them mad. He tells them that number 22 was successful in destroying the beast and asks her about whereabouts. The chief tells him that they think a paladin took her away. Just then Zen appears from the ship and asks if there are any eyewitnesses who claim that it was a paladin who destroyed the beast. Maizami comments that he is sure that after such intense battle he suffered injuries and do not come out of the battle unharmed. So they are still hiding in the city somewhere. He orders the chief and commander to find number 22 quickly before they make an escape. Maizami then comments that it is interesting to her that a paladin appears during the battle. Back in town, 22 and Maya are taking a stroll around the market to buy things for their lunch. 22 wanders around seeing different things in fascination. She spots a delicious-looking treat and decides to buy the treat. She comments that it is delicious and sweet. Maya reminds her that the Empire is still after her and that they have to keep a low profile in order to avoid them. 22 tells her that she has to fill her stomach before going back. Maya agrees with her but tells her that they are going back immediately after she is done eating. She then further tells her that she is feeling that Jiro will wake up soon. But at the town where the monster was killed before night, people gather around to perform the ritual to show their gratitude towards the gods of heaven for protecting them and perform their pledge by giving a sword in the tribute. Altogether people completed the ritual and showed their gratitude. The soldier reports that it has been 30 years since they last saw the ritual and that they have never seen a giant this big before in their life. To the chief then asks about the rumors about the paladin. The soldier reports to him that there have been no reports of anyone with a similar description as provided by the witness. Judo wakes up from a nightmare in which he was sitting on the ground with a dying Toka in his hands. He tries giving her chest compressions in the hope that she will come back to him. He decides not to give up on her. His fellow tried to stop him from doing so and asked him to fight with him against the monsters and tells him that Toka has very low chance of survival and that he should help him. He tells him that there are many clerics present who take her place. Upon hearing this, Judo becomes agitated. Just then he wakes up from his nightmare and hits his head while waking up from the dream. He then hears 22 talking with someone on the outside. 22 is dictating the incidents from yesterday and tells the person that Judo gave her a big hug and then kissed her on the forehead. All of a sudden, Maya then tells her that the action symbolizes a marriage and that Judo wants her to be his wife. Outside, both girls are sitting together while there is food cooking on the fire. 22 asks Maya about the marriage and what it is. Maya tells her that it is when two people decide to spend their life together forever. Just then, Judo comes out of the room hearing the words and scolds them. Maya then mentions that it's good that he finally decided to show up in sarcasm. Judo then announces loudly that he is not marrying anyone. Maya introduces herself to Jiro. 22 then asks him regarding his injuries, to which Jiro replies that they were mere scratches and that she does not have to worry about him. Hearing the conversation, Maya comments that she cannot believe that firstly Jiro stole her art and now he wants to snake his way out of the relationship and avoid 22. She calls him a pervert old man. Dido clears up the situation by telling them that it was just the requirement of the covenant ritual. He then asked 22 if she knows anything about the clerics. 22 tells him that she only knew that clerics can harbor an incredible power and that that's all she knows. Jiro tells her that she is right about them having a formidable power, but there is a downside that they are unable to control the power and can lose control of it and release a miasma that can destroy everything around them. He then tells them that a paladin's job is to become the vessels which can channel their energy and keep control over the cleric's power. He also mentions that these days they are only too considered as a tool to hunt down the beast and then kills them. He also asks her why the Empire is following her. 22 tells her that it's a complicated situation. Unfortunately, Maya asks Jiro if he formed a covenant with 22. Jiro tells her that he did because he did not have any other option to fight against the beast. Judo then tells 22 that he does not want to be involved in a cat and mouse game and that she has to find another paladin to help her out. He leaves the place and advises them to go into hiding. Quickly. Back in the city at a flower shop, Miss Kumi is busy making a garland when Zen approaches her shop. She tells him that the monster was similar to what they have taken down before, but it was the first time she saw the bright eyes like that. She also tells him that the person who killed the monster was a young spear wielder. She then asks him if it's the start of one of the old legends. Zen does not reply to her questions. Miss Kumi tells him that she will not interfere with the situation and that she is not getting involved either. Zen then tells her that the red eyes warrant a report to the upper echelon. Back in the forest, 22 and Maya have started their journey. 22 is against starving because of hunger. Maya complains that she has to buy her 3 times the food that she eats normally to keep her full. At this rate, 22 apologizes for the inconvenience and asks if Jiro will return. Maya tells them that he forgot his really valuable dagger and that they will definitely return to them for it. Maya further tells her that it is hard to find another paladin. She then asks if paladins pique her interest. 22 replies saying that Jiro always smells good and that the scent was soft and warm. They arrive at a local tavern where they order a lot of food. Maya tells 22 to eat the food until she's full. In the tavern, she recognizes Miss Kumi, who is complaining that the men will leave a mess in the morning. She once again thanks her for saving her. Miss Kumi then recognizes Maya as a Chapo and tells her that she hardly sees them around. Just then, the place is raided by the soldiers, where they find 22. Seeing the situation, 22 panics and loses control over her powers. When a soldier comes forward to grab her, he turns her into the residue to avoid any serious damage. Maya hits her head with the blade, which causes her to lose consciousness. She then tells the soldiers that they will come down with them quickly. One of the soldiers picks up 22 and tells his chief that 22 is alive while leaving. Maya thanks Miss Kumi and apologizes for the situation. Miss Kumi recognizes the dagger from somewhere and gets surprised to see it in possession of Maya. Back at the ship, Chief and Commander report to Maizami that they have found the prototype but have also lost one soldier. He tells them to report to his family that he died during the attack of the beast, and this way the family would get the pension. He once again reminds them that it's all for the sake of peace and that they will leave in the evening. Back at his place, Judo remembers that his dagger is not with him. He tries to find the dagger but then realizes that he must have left it with the two girls. He runs to the market and comes across Miss Kumi. He asks about the girls by telling her their description. She tells them that the girl probably came from the lab and offers him some berries. Judo takes the berries and thanks her. Back at the ship, 22 is feeling guilty about killing a soldier. Maya reassures her, saying that it was an accident and that she should not dwell on it. Just then, the dagger starts floating in the air, and they cheer in happiness that Judo finally notices its absence. After locating the ship, Jiro sneaks up to the ship and one by one fights the soldiers on the ship. He finally finds the girls and orders them to follow him. He finishes off every person that comes in their way. He then tells the girls to hold the end of the blade and dives into the water. In the water, they are traveling at a super fast pace and arrive at his boat. The commander at the ship locates their ship and orders his soldiers to follow them. They perform the covenant and manage to escape the place. Back at his place, Maya tells Judo that now the Empire will also hunt him down, as they now know that he is a paladin and that he has to help them also. Judo complains how the two of them dragged him into the mess but agrees to help them. Maya and Jiro then argue about the boat with each other, with 22 smiling watching the exchange. She's happy that Judo